Hello everybody. My algo right now has been really feeding me don't overthink, just do it, just jump into it type of content, and it's probably common with everybody. I think men in general are getting an algorithm and women are getting an algorithm. And then you can tweak it as you will, but I think there's so much overlap of just being male or female. I think is like that determines probably 60% of what they're going to feed you. So I'm sure a lot of people are getting those kind of just do it motivational kind of things. Maybe not, maybe people are just getting music videos. But I'm still sick. Just made a video about that. I've been sick 3 times in 2 months. It's really lame. It's not a good thing at all. Like, I actually think, like, in my head, like, I'm kind of dooming about this sickness. Like, if I'm just getting sick for no reason all the time, like, I don't understand how I'm going to be able to achieve anything, really. And it's kind of getting in my head a bit. Like, I think I'm sick mainly because of stress. I'm kind of trying to relax here. You might hear a game in the background. I have Skyrim on. It's the only game I have on like an old 360. I'm not a gamer, but I've wasted a lot of time on this when I was younger for sure. But I want to be out. I want to be doing something, but I'm stuck here. Like, my body is overtrained, or it's saying enough, or it's stress. I don't know what it is, but I can't really live a normal day without my immune system like shutting down and getting sick. It's been like that for the last 2 months. But back to what I was talking about is, like, my algorithm is really just packed full of things that are saying, like, don't overthink it. Like, success is the journey, not the destination. It's who you become along the way. Struggle builds character. Don't seek comfort, seek challenges. Iron sharpens iron. That's 90% of my algorithm is the stuff that I just said. And it's true to my life. Like, I haven't done enough, but at the same time, I've done what I've been able to do up to this point. And it's the difference between those two things that is making me really stressed and unhappy. Is I've done the bare minimum, and I've really not been able to focus or find something that I've been willing to jump in and dedicate my life to. Like, I've kind of fragmented all my ideas for making money and jobs into many different things, where I've worked these dead-end jobs, a lot of dead-end part-time jobs, and I've kind of done YouTube channels on the side, hoping that they kind of take off. Well, not really building a real social network in real life and building like trade skills or university level skills in real life. And I've had my reasons for that, and I've had my excuses for that. And some of my reasons and excuses have a silver lining and a positive to it, because I don't have any student debt. And I know that that's killing a lot of people right now. They either go to university and they get like a bullshit degree, or they get kind of the standard, how it's been for 50 years, bachelor degree, and maybe they get a good job, maybe they don't. It's a lot of personality hires. It's a lot of, politics that go on with that. So I have no student debts, and I'm not in debt right now. I have been in a lot of credit card debt and line of credit debt in the past. I'm paid off right now, and I have enough savings to last me not long, to be honest, but 6 to 8 months probably. I could take that's the exact amount of time for the welding course. Um, so I could do that and have a gamble on finding a shop fab job. Um, and that's kind of where I'm leaning towards, but at the moment of sign up, I always pull back and I always get cold feet. And then I ask ChatGPT and the AI and all this mumbo jumbo online about, the economy and job security, and if I could get throat cancer from the welding fumes, and like all these things to kind of convince myself out of it. And I always do convince myself out of it, because the matter of fact is you can get throat cancer, you can die, and there is no real job security. And I know my abilities, and I know how to judge myself to what I would have been able to do and what I failed to do before, and have a good understanding of where I measure up. And what I would want from a welding course is you need to determine that before you go in and waste. I don't know if it would be a waste of time if you can't get a job. Like, it would be a skill that you still have, like a trade course. But if you can't get placement after, and you don't have a clear understanding of where you're going with this, and different areas, their economy, how old you are now, how old you'll be at retirement. I've factored in, like, if I was to do the welding, I'd want to do MIG welding in a shop, like fabrication. I ask, ChatGPT, if that's a stable career, and it says only if you learn how to read the blueprints and how to be a fitter and a setter and a fabricator on your as well. And the welding is just the skill, just one skill that goes into it, and it's even like the lesser of the skills. The fabricator, the fitter is the more important part, and the welder is looking to be employers are now in manufacturing looking to automate that part, where robots will be actually doing the MIG welding in a decade or two. So then I'm thinking, like, well, do I get my foot in the door? Do I hope that the economy is good, and there's the government is doing the right moves, and they have enough fabrication shops and work, and they're the immigration levels, to be honest, not to be like that guy, like, I don't want to be political, like, I have nothing against immigrants, but at the same time, if I'm competing against like 5,000 people for the job, like, it does make sense that the wage is going to get down. Do I get in a union? Like, I'm not in a union area. Is there going to be major projects? Like, you got to think about things like that. So it's a lot that goes into it. And then you're at a non-union shop, you're kind of old, starting into the trade, older than most people. Most people are going to be doing this like college age or out of high school. You're working with your body, something can go. So there is no safe that I can just do this and then just go into like a fab shop and just be MIG welding for 30 years and make good money. They're not going to look at that. They're going to look at that as highly replaceable. Anyone can take the half-year course and then be a MIG welder, or even get hired as like the owner's cousin or something, and just be apprenticed right away and not even take the course and just hold the gun and squeeze the trigger. So then you got to be a fab guy. You got to be hauling all this heavy ass metal around, bending it and reading blueprints. And I don't even know what the blueprints look like. I'm assuming that's a big thing. So it's a whole deal where you got to keep adapting to the market. And they're already setting it up to give the least pay. And I don't know if there's even going to be, pipelines and things for all these parts? Like, is it mainly farming that gets like trailers fabbed now? Like, I don't know even what the job like market for this looks like. So I'm thinking about that though, because I just need to be in the real world doing something. Like, I can't just be passively looking for friends. Like, somebody, oh hey, this guy looks cool, maybe we'll invite him to our group and I can get motion by learning what other people are doing. Like, I gotta find my own way, and I've always been isolated, so I've always kind of been trying to find other people around me that can guide me in a direction, like somebody that knows me and my abilities, that can, you know, counsel me into like a direction. Like, I don't really have contact with my dad, and he was at my age or even older in the same shoes as me. Like, he was 40, 45, 50, 55 looking for careers and still in dead-end jobs. So, like, I don't even know what advice he would be able to give me, because I've already achieved the same dead-end job, security guard, sales shit that he did. So it's like we're already equals in the job market. It seems like he had to grind harder later in life because he was going to get foreclosed, and he did get foreclosed, and he had kids and a wife that did leave him, and like, because he was unemployed for a long time, like trying to figure it out, and he had higher stress than me, but he still didn't really figure it out either. I know a lot of people who haven't figured it out at all, and I know this is a long drawn out video, and I don't even know if anyone's gonna watch this. It's just me kind of complaining, but there was like a guy that was either borderline or actually like a PDF that I ran into today. Like, I was going to the store, like the drugstore, to get like fizzy water, like the fancy Italian bottled fizzy water to mix with orange juice as like a la-di-da, like homemade Fanta or whatever the orange drink is. But he didn't look that old. He said an age that I'll get to in a minute that was older than he looked, but like, there was girls that were walking by, and I think they were like 23, 24, like they were all different ages, but within the range of 22 to like 25, I would say. And like, I gave them a nod. They didn't pay me any attention, which sucks. But I mean, you can't expect everybody to, like, I come from a small town, and like, when I was growing up, you'd give someone a nod and they'd always stop and talk to you. So it was like that. But now it's more of a city now, and you can't really do that anymore, because people kind of like being anonymous in a city, and they only fuck with the people they know. But anyways, then I walk further down the line, and this guy, he's like a gardener, an old gardener. He pulls me aside, and he's like, hey, I gotta stop you to talk to you too, so they don't get creeped out. And like, they don't care, like, they were already gone. But like, he starts talking about like how he stopped them and was like talking to them, but they didn't have time, and it's like they always have somewhere to go, they could never stay and talk to me. And like, he was like kind of fat and like old, and like, they were, you know, like college students. And then I was like, he's like, that's why, you know, you got to take it from me, you got to stay in school. And he's like, I'm 70 years old. And then I was like, I'm like trying to like figure him out and not really like pay any mind. I'm like, well, you got to stay in the game, man. And like, I don't know, like what does he want from me? And then like, he started saying like some questionable stuff. Like he's basically like saying he likes Like I said, like, how old do you think they were? Like 25. He's always like, oh no, probably even younger, like 19. And then he was like, he's going off, and it was like he's kind of getting like kind of a little bit perverted. Um, but like, it was weird. And then like he had no substance or backbone to him, like, because he said like that's why you take it from me, like you got to stay in school. And like for one, like I can see what his point is on that. Like he's an outsider of like society. Like he's doing like gardening job. Like no one pays attention to him. Like he's blowing leaves, and like he's probably been on the edge of society like his whole life. Like if I was to guess about his life, like he's never achieved anything or had a family, like based on like kind of his demeanor and like kind of him, like he was almost like ashamed of himself, like he was uncomfortable in his own skin, and he was 70 years old. This was today too, so this is fresh in my mind, and it's kind of relevant to what I was kind of rambling on about. But says he take it from me, like that's why you stay in school. And like I say, well, that doesn't really mean anything anymore. And then he's like, well, that's true, that's why you just got to live for today. Like he has no grounding, no coherent, structure in his head, like no ideology, no values. Like he's just blown in the wind, like in the breeze. And that's kind of like how I've been really living. Like I have like my excuses for it, like I could say ADHD, but like I can see my future in that guy. Like I can see, like I can wind up very easily like a 70-year-old perverted gardener. Like that's a current trajectory, really. Like that's essentially the same trajectory my dad was on. Like I don't want to shit talk him. Like I just made peace with him like a few weeks ago, and I text him like I forgive you about stuff like it. Like I don't want to bring in my whole family about that, or like imply that my dad's like a pervert or something. But like the point is, I've seen a lot of older guys that have been completely like not even seen by society, like oil and water, like people that have been like janitors their whole lives, and they don't even talk to people. Like they talk to like a cashier like once a day, and that's like their whole interaction. And I'm currently on like a similar trajectory of that, except I have like a vlog channel that I'm kind of hoping is a lottery ticket, and then I have like vague ideas of like welding or property management, of getting back into like a respected role in society that I never pull the trigger on, because I'm full of so much doubt and so much I don't know if I'm overly precautious or if I know my actual limits, because I haven't jumped into like a 50-hour work week of welding to know if I can do it or not. And the scary part is, like, if you go 9 months to that program and you spend money on that and you can't get a job, or if you get a job and you can't do it, like that's the final nail in a coffin. Like you have to do it. So you have to join that college with 100% guarantee to yourself that no matter as bad as it gets, or as low as they pay you and undercut you and screw you over, that you're still going to stick it out and do it and work the overtime and, basically take it in the ass and just don't cry about it. And like, that's a hard pill to swallow, to just say that you're going to do this without even knowing what the day looks like, what the trade looks like, what the future of the trade looks like, if you can physically or mentally handle it. I'm getting sick all the time. I'm stressed out on my mind. I can barely feed myself. Like a part-time job, like, or like 2 part-time jobs, like 35 hours a week. I'm struggling already keeping the dishes done and the laundry done, and an attempt of like building social connections at a club or a bar or a climb gym or something, or a wrestling club or MMA, like trying to balance all these. Even with 30 hours, I'm struggling, and now I'm going to jump into something that's higher labor, higher, more hours. Some of these jobs, they have you working 12-hour shifts and you never see anybody, and you're just, I'm already in my head too much, and I don't know if the welding would get me out of my head, like if it's so focused and meditative that like I would just be focusing on my skill and my trade and I'd love it, or if I would just further dissociate. And I feel like I fell through the cracks, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I see hell all around me, and I feel the walls closing in, and I feel myself getting older, and I feel myself getting sicker, and I feel my body getting weaker. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the 70-year-old gardener hitting on 22-year-olds and hoping that they're younger. That's crazy. That's wild. I don't want to be that guy. I don't think I'd be that guy on the perverted level, but I can see myself being that guy on the job level. And if I can see myself being that on the job level, and I'm isolated and dissociated and no one gives a fuck about me, like, he probably was young and thinking that he wasn't going to be a pervert or whatever. And I mean, it's a slow burn to hell, man. And I don't want to be that guy, and I want to have respect for myself, and I want my community to respect me. I want my mom to respect me. And I'm grasping at straws. I don't know, property management, welding, like it's like two things, man, and I don't think I could do either, but I think I have to do one. I think I have to jump into something, and this YouTube channel isn't working, and I'm coughing up. Like, I don't know, maybe this is like maybe a lung cancer, and I don't even have to worry about any of this shit anymore. But it's a long ass video, and it's kind of depressing, but it's real shit. And I've been talking to, like, I've if anyone doesn't know, I got laid off like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I've been skateboarding down, and I've been like talking to like drunk people, like not homeless people, but like borderline homeless people, like people that are going to a 9 to 5, and then after their 9 to 5 they just get drunk on the street. And I've been kind of hanging around with those dudes, and that's a red flag too. But like at the same time as it's a red flag, it's also maybe I don't need to be on a high horse, because the more I get to know them, the cooler they are. Like they're just people, but maybe that's maybe I need more iron sharpens iron. But whatever the case may be, that's my ramble and my rant today. This is a long video. This is like 24 minutes of me talking. No one's gonna watch that. This is like just a journal for myself for later, I guess, to look back at. But God bless everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. And I know there's gonna be some, if somebody does watch this, there's gonna be some comments with advice, and I don't know if it's gonna be able to help, because I'm at a spot where I can't make a decision about what to do, and I feel like it's compounding, and I don't know. I just need to either do something or not, and that's it. I either have to just kind of, bear a cross and kind of just sacrifice my whole life into, a welding shop with no personal life probably, or try to just kind of be like someone that gets no respect and laughed at, working like a menial job for like a high schooler, and then just try to socially branch out and have work-life balance that'll just be completely washed away, no wages to that at all, and then just live in poverty and be that weird gardener eventually, but maybe have some good times before then. But I don't know, man. But I'm starting to see less and less options, and I hope everyone's doing good. And God bless everybody. But peace out, bye.